All right, guys, today we got a real special guest in the house. This man is a OG, triple OG, but he's still doing his thing. Very underrated. I'm talking about the one and only Don Pachino.
Peace. What's going on, Panda Chop, my guy?
Yo, Dom, how you living, bro?
Man, I had a couple of setbacks, man. I had a couple of family losses, man, that really impacted me. You know what I mean? I'm dealing with that as we speak. But other than that, I'm trying to get back to it, man. You know what I mean? Working, grinding, life is real, but it's a beautiful thing at the same time, man. Trying to stay positive,
Man, I'm sorry to hear about your loss, bro. It's crazy as you get older, you know what I'm saying? Like, these things happen. It's like life just never stops for anybody.
Sure. Tell me about it, bro. I'm living it.
Yeah, man. But I'm happy to have you here. So with my interviews, bro, I like to start at the beginning and go in chronological order so that people can understand who you are, where you came from, and how you got here today. Mm-hmm. So you're originally from Manhattan, right?
Yeah, uptown, all the way up, 200th Street, Dykeman. Thayer Street is my block. 1 second, bro. I'm just so I don't get disturbed. Sending this thing out real quick so I don't get no calls coming in. I'm gonna put it on silent. Go ahead. Yeah, from Dykeman, Thayer Street. My early life was over there. It started over there, and then my moms and my aunts and stuff. My uncle bought a house out in Staten Island. Trying to, he's a Wall Street guy, and first family member in the family that got a little bread, on Wall Street and bought a house. And he said, let me move my sisters, a big house in Stapleton, trying to give us a better life, And that's how I came to Staten Island.
And you guys moved there when you were like, what, 6 or 7 around that time?
About 6, exactly. I did kindergarten uptown, and my school was a block away from, off of Thayer Street and shit, like a block down, to elementary school. And then first grade started in Staten Island in Stapleton, PS14.
Do you have memories from that time, or like it's just kind of like?
I do. The pizzeria around the corner. I went up there and checked the brothers out a year or two ago. They're still there. The original family. They're Greek. It's a Greek pizzeria, but the slices was like extra trees. Double the slices now. They cheap with us now. But they still up there, and the slices are still banging. I took a photo with the guy. He was like, "Oh man, they used to have a midget that used to work there," and I don't know if the guy told me he passed away or he just retired, but I think he was, we built about that. I think it's like a cousin of his, and, it was cool, man, So yeah, I got the memories of the pizzeria. I got the memories of, McDonald's was right around the corner from us. I actually got my first CD while I was up there. My first CD, well, that wasn't my first CD, but I remember I had the Kane album, but that's when I went over to the island. But when I went back up there to visit, I ended up getting the Cuban Links album. That was years later, but you know what I mean? I remember that's a memory from up there. And also, what was it? They had the Cloisters. If anybody knows over there, 200th Street, Dykeman area, they got that park over there, and they got the Cloisters up there, which is at the medieval. They used to do the medieval, carnival up there all the way up in the park. So I got those memories. Got a lot of memories over there.
Damn, you got good memory, bro. That you could remember that, all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you one better. I had my first fight was over there in the school over there in kindergarten, and I had a Yugoslavian friend named Zoran, and some kids hit me. You remember the sporks, the spoon forks thing in school?
Right, yeah.
So the dude in the park, we was at lunch, and we went out to the playground, and it was 2 kids, and they grabbed one of the sporks in the bottom of like a Coca-Cola bottle, the hard part, the bottom piece, the foundation of it. And they hit me and they hit me in the eye with it. So I started fighting with them. And the kid, this is how I became friends with one, my first childhood friend. The kid Zoran grabbed the kid from behind, like some old school, with his arms. And I was punching him in the ribs. So I got that memory too,
Yo, he was like, get him.
Yeah. I know he just helped me out. Like, that's how we became friends. He just jumped in, grabbed the kid, and then, we started getting that work in. But yeah, so that's my first couple of memories out there and stuff like that.
And you're Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah, Puerto Rican, for sure. Little splash from my father's side, Brazilian with a little from the roots of Calabria, Italy. They went out there as farmers from my father's side. My father's father, my grandfather passed away, but little history in that. He was in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So it's a little infusion, a little slight infusion of that. But mainly, I was raised, Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? My father's half Puerto Rican, half Brazilian, and my mom's is all Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? But I was raised more with the Puerto Rican roots. Yeah.
So would you say that you grew up in a really traditional Puerto Rican household?
Yeah, well, my grandmother didn't speak no English. I mean, I wouldn't say super traditional, but traditional. We my mom didn't really try to incorporate too much Spanish. She spoke it to her mother, but we grew up with trying to learn the English and shit, so we could have opportunities and stuff. So I guess that was my mom's game plan. And I would say I'm third, so first, second, third. I'm third generation, so from the island. So yeah, so that's how that went. But as far as family parties, all the food, everything was you know what I'm saying, the music, all of that is traditional. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Did you grow up with any siblings?
Yeah, I grew up with I have two sisters. One's 4 years older than me, and the other one's don't have me do the math, but she's a lot, probably like 13 years younger than me. So she wasn't in the house when I was going out, when I was pretty much starting to live on my own, because I left around 17. She was, just being born. So she was little. So, it's a little different, but I was raised kind of with my oldest sister.
But all same parents?
No, all different parents, all different fathers, not different parents, all same mother. And then I got some siblings from my father's side too, but I met them further along down the line. I didn't meet my father till I was 13 years old. So it's a little different of a, situation.
So I want to ask you about a specific lyric from the song Killarmy, Feel It, right? You said, "Moms, you incredible. You raised me all by yourself. Regardless of the situation, there was food on the shelf. Pops, you abandoned me. You left me all alone in the cold war zone. I had to fend for my own." Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so that's just pretty much a little glimpse of what I just gave you, saying I met my father when I was 13. I don't know, the story varies from her side to his side, but she got pregnant, and then he went off to DC to attend to his other child, which is my other sister from my father's side. And that's the story that she tells me. He tells me, he didn't know about me, and he didn't know she was pregnant. I don't know. So I was thinking, but long story short, I didn't meet him until 13 years old through the welfare system. And so that's what I mean by abandon me, because regardless of what, he wasn't around.
So like while you're growing up until 13, right? Before then, were you asking, where's my dad? Because you seeing your friends and everybody else with a father and everything, or like, how did you process that?
Yeah. That was something. See, I was into wrestling heavy when I was young, WWF, when it before was, when it was WWF, not WWE. I was a big wrestling head, and Kung Fu. I was into Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was my favorite, dude. But I used to go, see the wrestlers and all that, because I was a fanatic, and I was like, "Mom, is that my dad look like that?" Yeah, a little bit, or no, or oh, he looks like him. You would wonder as a kid, like, what your father looked like, because I never seen him, never seen pictures, nothing. So that was, I was interested to see, I was, I guess, somewhat searching, and inquiring.
Right. So you were trying to get that idea of what he was like in your head and everything. During that time, right, were you resentful that he wasn't there?
I guess it affected me. I don't know, like I carried a chip on my shoulder over it, like, but it was life to me. When you're living it, what I'm saying, is like, you can't miss what you never had sometimes. You know what I mean? I don't know, somehow people, I don't know if you can wrap your head around that a certain way, but it's like people say, oh, this, I'm sure it had an effect on me, psychologically, but it was not something that I could, I guess it was.
You just learned to deal with it.
Subconsciously. It was subconsciously, opposed to like, I'm, or that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But Mom was incredible. Like I said in the song, she did her best, man, and we were good. She used to get me my wrestling figures when she gets her check, all the time. I get a new one, get my Coco Beware, my King Kong Bundy, Hulk Hogan, Macho. I would get them. She take me to the movie. She was there, man, loving, food, always, you know what I mean? 3 square meals with a vegetable and a starch. Like we had, my mom was really good like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So who became like those strong male influences in your life early on? Did you have an uncle? Like
I had my uncle. Yeah, I had my uncle. My Uncle Santos was my godfather. It was my mom's brother. He was he was a twin. It was, and he was there. He would take me to the movies, and he would step up, and he was my godfather / my uncle, but he was there. He was a male figure, but he was again, he wasn't my father, so he wasn't there like that. He had his life, but he was someone that was very important to me that I look forward to seeing, and I would be sad when when he leaves. Pretty much that. I had a couple of. I had my older cousin Elliot. He was more of a. He was a Latin king. He was more of the streets. He came from the Bronx. He was part of. Remember I told you that my uncle moved my mom and his other sister out there. It was my aunt Norma, and that's her son, and he was up in the Bronx. You know what I mean? So he came, and he was he was into the streets, and he was all kinds of wild. Going to jail, in and out of jail. So he kind of gave me that. I guess that street. Influence, a bit. And then we got my Uncle Choco, which was another, my family's filled with a lot of, wild boys too, jail, in and out of jail. And, one of my uncles killed a cop years ago in Puerto Rico, and, just crazy. So
what was it like for you when you did meet your father at 13? Was it like what you imagined, or it was like completely different?
I didn't really know what to expect. It wasn't what I imagined, because I'm over here thinking he looks like wrestlers and stuff that my mom would point out while we're getting on the ferry boat and stuff like that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, I seen the similarities. He has, I got his lips, I got his eyes. You know what I mean? I felt it was my dad. You know what I mean?
What about some of the mannerisms?
Definitely some of the man. He got this. I got a little bit of his swag. You know what I mean? Just DNA is a weird thing, man. People don't know how powerful.
It's crazy how you inherit mannerisms, right?
Yeah,
like
you don't even have to meet them. You never met them before.
Right.
Nothing. You would never imagine, bro. Like never. Like it's just DNA is serious. People I think overlook that. A lot. It's like you can resemble somebody, but like you never met them. Like I got certain characteristics of him and tendencies, and it's like. Where did that come from? I never watched him. I didn't observe him. I just met him. And, there's a lot of stuff like that. So, yeah, it was wild.
So how was the relationship then when you met him at 13? Like, did you guys start to build after that, or was it not like that?
Yeah. We was building. He came, seeing me, tried to get involved in my life. So I was 13 at the time. And, I got to meet my other side of the family, his brother. Shout out my Uncle Coco. One love. Him, me and my father's relationship still estranged to this day, But I gave him the respect, called him dad. He took me in. I stood with him, a couple of weeks at his house, and I would go, in Jersey, and I would go back and forth and stuff. But at that time, at 13, I was already turning into growing my mane. You know what I mean? I was already becoming a young lion at that time. So I already probably smoked my first blunt, drunk my first 40 at that time, 13 years old. You feel me? Right. So it was like, but I still,
it was almost like too late already.
I don't want to ever say that, because I don't know. I don't believe it's ever too late to, establish a relationship, especially when it's no resistance and somebody's,
No, I'm not saying like to establish the relationship, but like the influence that you need.
The influence,
that you needed, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he was around, he might have been able to prevent some of those things that you were going through at the time.
Exactly. Yeah, that I agree with you on. Yeah, that it's a little too late to play super dad at that point, particularly. Because I already, but yeah, so that was my influences, males. And then it's pretty much from there was just like the streets, I would say like, being outside, my mom wasn't so, she would tell me come in a certain time, but my mom wasn't so aggressive with, me hanging out. She let me just do my thing,
Right.
And, and I didn't have that father, influence to be like, get your ass, house boy, I come in late, I do whatever. So the streets pretty much raised me moving forward, as far as influence and stuff like that,
So you're saying that to this day that you guys are still estranged. Is it by like your choice or?
Nah, I reached out, I just seen him recently at a funeral, and he came and he showed love and, I haven't seen him in like 20 years, bro, before that. So it was a little weird,
Yeah.
And, I you know what it is? I found myself reaching out to him. So he helped me with a case, he stepped up to the plate. I had shot somebody when I was 17 years old. I caught a YO. I shot somebody 4 inches from the heart. And I was going to do time and all that. I was on the run. I went out to Ohio on the run with my peoples. You didn't have to kill Army teams from Ohio. You know what I mean? So right. I went out there. I was out there for 2 months. He said he's going to get a lawyer for me. He wanted to step up to the plate, get me a paid lawyer, told me to turn myself in, talk to the, because they were harassing my mom going by the house. leaving their card, it's going to be big bad for them, tell them to get in contact with us, whatever. They were harassing. I want the harassment to stop. I knew that I can't run, but for so long, I mean, where I was, they probably wouldn't find me for a while, you know what I mean? Because who expects me to be in Ohio, in a small town of 25,000 capacity, little town. But see, over there, it was crazy. It was crazy over there too, because I ended up, I think it's crazy how this thing works. So my uncle brought us to Staten Island to have a better life, right? From Uptown. Staten Island, he bought his house, but it was in the hood still. It was like on the side block of the hood, 1 block away from the project, Stapleton. But he didn't know. My family's coming from Uptown in the Bronx, Staten Island seems like, it seems like a beautiful thing, right? So I get over there and I get into all kinds, it's the hood, man. It's Staten Island, it's the slums, man. It's like, people throughout the 5 boroughs, sometimes they like to, shit on Staten Island or act like shit's sweet out here. But the dudes that like been to Brooklyn House and time on the island, Rikers, they know that Staten Island,
Mm-hmm.
They get busy, that's known. It's a known thing for like street cats, jail cats. But we didn't know, my uncle didn't know. And then, so life was real out there, man. I got into all kinds of shit, and whatever. And then to go back to what I was saying with the other thing, what was the last question?
Right. He stepped up when you needed him.
Yeah. So then I go to Ohio on the run from shooting somebody in Staten Island, right? In front of my building. And then boom, I get shot. Whole different beef in Ohio while I'm on the run. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm thinking I'm going over there for refuge. And I get shot, some other, wild, gang stuff that was going on over there, involving some, it's crazy. So yeah, so I got shot while I was on the run. And he stepped up, he paid for the lawyer. And that was I appreciate that. That was something he stepped up and did. And then I did my time and, that's that. So after that, we would talk a little bit, hit him up, I'll be finding myself reaching out to him really. He don't really reach out to me.
He was doing all of the effort.
Yeah, I would hit him up. And then I was living life too, because, I just came out. And once I came out of doing my time, we went straight to, we did the first single for the Killarmy joint, Camouflage Ninjas, while I was on the run at Fourth Disciple Studio in Ohio.
Wow.
Right across the street from where I was staying, you know what I mean?
So how long did you have to do in prison or jail?
I did 6 months and 5 years probation because it was a YO, a paid lawyer. My first offense, I'm a 17-year-old kid, you know what I mean? And he did a good, got a good job. So I did my 6 months on the island, came out, and then I did my 5 years probation.
Got you.
But I got caught with another charge after that. That's another story. I got caught with another gun charge, going to do a show or something with my bros and, caught that. And, my brother took the, one of my bros, ate that one, you know what I mean? So I could have went back. I would have got my whole 5 years. So he stepped up and took that because he had no priors. So that was,
wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to him for that.
Shout out to him. Rest in peace, actually. You know what I mean? That's my brother Just, man. He passed away a couple of years ago, man.
Rest in peace, man.
Rest in peace, yeah.
What was the 6 months like on the island for you, though? You're 17, right? Like, this is obviously a new experience for you. You're locked up with grown men, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is that experience like?
Well, you're in Bages, not Greens when they put you when you're under 18, but you still actually is better off being locked up with the grown men. You know what I mean? Because the kids in there is the young boys. Then that's when I got in there, the Bloods and the Crips started populating in New York. You know what I mean? It was real wild on the island. So I did my bid in C-76. While I was gone, while I was before I got sentenced, I was in C-74. You know what I mean? And that shit was wild. I mean, it was just wild, man. The young boys were the wildest, you know what I mean? A lot of face cutting going on at the time. A lot of, it was, got into I got my respect pretty early in the game, you know what I mean? And, I was locked up with there was some guards in the house, you know what I mean? And, they heard me talking on the phone building and they was like, yo, heard me saying, yo, I got to speak to my old Earth. And, he, they knew what that referenced. And so he pulled me aside, so I kind of like, met some brothers in there. There was a lot of Muslim brothers in there. They had the Nietas, the Latin Kings at the time in there, and the Bloods, and the Crips just popular. I actually wanted to think the guy who brought the Crips over here or something was in there. Some young boy who was shot. He got hit up too. And he was like really the only Crip in there. So I think he was responsible because there was no Crips yet. It was like Bloods who came first. And then
right.
I was like, oh, it's a lot. Look, he was the first Crip anybody really met when I was doing my bid. And then all of a sudden Crip started coming out to New York after that. So I kind of like attribute him to that. You know what I mean? And I was see, when you locked up, right? When you under 18 and you go to Rikers, you got to go to school. So I got my GED when I was in there too. And also Lord Tariq, his uncle was my counselor. You know,
Wow.
Uptown baby.
Yeah.
He was like, because he said, "What you do?" I said, "I do music. You know what I mean? I rap and all that." He was like, told him my people, who my fam was. And he was like, "Oh, word." But at this time, you got to understand, I didn't make no history yet. So it's just a young kid talking shit to him. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean, if he, afterwards, he seen, all the stuff that went on. He was like, "Oh, man." I even told the kids I was locked up with, I said, "Next time y'all see me," because we was in the day room watching, music videos and shit. And I said, "Next time y'all see me, I'm going to be on the big screen." And one of the guys, one of the Muslim brothers from Queens that got out, he came to Stapleton like 2 years later. And he seen me and he's like, "Yo," because at that time my attribute was Sun God. So he was like, "Oh, Sun God, what up? Oh, show, you ain't lying, God. I never seen nobody tell me they're gonna be on TV. And then a year later, I see you on TV. Oh, that's great, So that was, just imagine being that guy that somebody told you.
You spoke it into existence.
I spoke it right into existence, bro.
That's crazy, man.
Crazy. So yeah.
How would you say that you processed the events of you shooting someone at 17 and then you getting shot too shortly after that?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, that was a real thing. That was so in my head it was like, yo, I gotta slow down. You're moving too fast. And then I had the whole karma thing, what goes around comes around. Like boom, it'll get you either way. You feel me? Like, put it this way: I'll shoot somebody. What's the irony in that? I shoot somebody in Staten Island, right? Park Hill area, right? And I go to Ohio, a small town in Ohio with a population of 25,000. And I get shot there while on the run from shooting somebody. All that quick, within couple of months span. What do you attribute that to? Like, to me, I was like, whoa, I'm just. And it was gang related, the shooting. I think I was some Crips or whatever I got shot by. And it was some internal thing too, because they were cousins of one of the dudes that was, one of our bros, and there was a lot of craziness that was going on. He didn't set us up, but it was just some beef he had with one of my bros, and it was crazy.
Right.
So what do you attribute that to? I just felt like what was going through my head is I was living too fast. I need to slow down. This what goes around comes around thing is real,
But you listened basically to the universe at that time that it was sending you a message like,
oh, absolutely. After I did my bid, I came out, I told you I almost got locked up for that gun charge. After that, had a couple of little lockups with like, little ounce of weed and stuff like,
right.
Minor stuff and maybe. And then years later, I caught another assault charge, fighting, but I did my best. I haven't been back to do a bid since, you know what I mean? Like I got, I got through it. What I mean?
Can you talk about why you shot someone at 17? Like what was that over?
Well, that's all. Of course, that's over. So what happened is, Ninth had some beef with, a kid, that I was going to school with or whatever. And,
but Ninth is already in Ohio at this point, right?
No, he's back. He would go back and forth.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah. No, he'll be back and forth. He goes to stay with his pops for, a couple of months, come back, maybe go for the winter, summer, or whatever, vacations. It was a back and forth thing. Or stay for a little while, a year or two at one time, but yeah, he was back. Got into some beef with, kid I went to school with, kid thought, he was, he was like a bully, trying to be tough or whatever. He was outside my building, with his other mans. They would come by around there. They weren't from there, a couple of blocks away. But Ninth got into it with him. Ninth was like, "Yo, man, I'm gonna pop this nigga. Give me the hammer." I always had hammers because I was raised in a household with them because my stepfather was like, trying to be like a wannabe Hell's Angel. His family was Hell's Angels and stuff, but you know what I mean? He was, whatever. So
wait, he was Latino and he was a Hell's Angel?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
This is my stepfather, my little sister. Remember we talking about?
Right. But so he's white.
He was white. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he had, I always kind of like been in had those kind of things. So I said, all right, but see, what I also learned to is never pull one out if you're gonna use it. So I told Knife, I said, "Yo, here, I give it to you. That's my brother. It's my best friend. Here, you want? Yo, give me that shit." I give it to him. We go up to the kid. He goes and he says, "Man, fuck that. I'm gonna take him with my hands." He changes his mind, gives it back to me. Now I got it. And I'm like, shit, I didn't want it because I got a loaded gun right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Cocked. And this is not, not something that I wanted to do. This was what he getting into. I'm here to hold you down, but damn. So they fight for 20 minutes, banging on, slamming each other on cars, poking eyeballs out and everything. And then, the kid, after they were done, like knife was, the kid was stocky, you know what I mean? Boricua kid and shit. And, he was stocky and stuff. So he kind of gorilla knife a little bit, you know what I mean? Had, he might have got the best of knife or whatever. And then, then he came over to me like, yo, you want some too? Now, I've been fighting my whole life, bro. All the people I fought was big, it's verified. Like, people asking around my hood, people who watch this know Don P. I was a little dude growing up, but I fought wars. That's how this made me who I was. I fought big gorillas, you feel me? My whole life, like just fighting, choking. I became a bully after a while. I was a little bully. I started saying, hey, little girls in school would be like, he's bothering me. And I'd be like, yo, after school, you know what I mean? And dudes would be, scared type thing. So long story short, the kid came at me and I had this and I thought in my head fast, maybe it wasn't the wisest decision, but I was like, it was 30 people. We're in front of the projects, bro. There's people off the balconies looking at this fight. It went on for like 10, 15 minutes. So, cops are pretty already on their way, right?
Right.
You got old people there too. They call the cops. 30 kids out. It was the summer, man. So.
Wait, you said it was 20 minutes. Is it?
Nah, I don't know, man. You're talking about a 30, bro. You're talking about 30, 31, 30, right. Almost 30
Sometimes
something.
Things feel longer too.
Yeah, but it was a fight. They were out, they were winded or whatever. It was going on, slamming on cars. I just remember it went for a while. It could have been 10 minutes, man. Back in the days, brothers used to say, let's shoot the 5, right?
Right.
5 minutes is be a lot, you know what I mean? I used to box when I was younger. Like, I never went pro, but I used to jog a mile to Cromwell to go train with the Golden Glove kids and shit like that. And 3 minutes in the ring is exhausting. 3 minutes. It's like, young and all that. You know what I mean? 14 years old. Oh, man, stamina is everything. So whatever. It could have been shorter. Just come on, man. You over here getting the technical with the 20 and 10.
No, because I'm thinking, because in the comments, they're going to be like, yo, he said 10, he said 20, now he's saying 10, 15.
Yeah, all right, man. Listen, man, we talking, if they acknowledge the story we talking about, all this stuff you're trying to go back to the beginning, chronological order, it's going to be off a little bit. 10 minutes, 15, you get the idea. They fought. The kid came, asked me what I wanted. My head was like, cops are on their way. I could fight this dude. The cops come break it up, pat us both down. I got a fully loaded gun on me. I'm doing time, right? Right? That was one of them. I can fight him. The gun falls out my pocket. He picks it up and shoots me. Fully loaded gun again, right? Or I could do what knife was supposed to do, what it was intended for, use it. So I almost spared him. I said, I told him, I don't want no problems, man. You got your thing. Y'all fought. It's over. Nah, man. He's coming towards me with his shirt off. Because remind you, they were fighting, ripping shirts. It was a fight, bro. It was a real fight.
So see, you didn't say that option at first. I was going to ask you, was that an option for you to just like be like, nah, I'm going to walk away from it? But you tried. No,
I did. I told him, bro, and I got a bad temper, bro. So I snap after a while. So I'm like, chill. This has happened a lot in my life. I'm like, man, I don't want no problem. And they keep,
right.
Keep trying to do it, man. And I'm like, chill. So he kept coming. Then I said, oh, you want it? I'll bit my teeth and say, okay. Bow. I hit him with it. First I pistol whipped him. I hit him, bang, inside his head. He's still walking. Now when he felt that sting, he said that was a heavy hand. He either thought I had brass hands or something. He started walking the other way. But now my temper's already going on. So you see, I told you to chill. Bang, I slap him again with it in the side of his head. And then I slap him again. And then what happened? Then he starts charging me. After somebody keeps getting hit, so he charged me, and that's when I hit him, and he ran behind a car. Good thing my mind, because I was already snapped out of it, you know what I mean? And I was in the middle of the street and the gun jammed. There was a little 25 or something, you know what I mean?
So where did he get hit?
In the shoulder, 4 inches from the heart, yeah.
In the shoulder? Okay, so lucky.
Yeah, man, and I'm not proud. There's nothing I'm proud of. Like I said, I didn't even want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I was there trying to hold. We young, we're dumb at the time. I seen the kid after, you know what I mean? He showed me the wound. Actually, when I was getting on the ferry, it was just me and him alone. And he was like, I don't want no problems, but you could have killed me. And I said, my bad. And we both, we chopped it up. Yeah, man. Yeah. It was dope, man. It was dope, man. You know what I mean? But, now streetwise, if you look at it, he actually showed up to testify on me. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So, You could look at it, you could look at it different ways, but I ate it, man. I said, you know what, it's the past. I'm moving on, I ain't holding no grudges or whatever.
So when you got hit though, where did you get hit?
I got hit in my calf, my leg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got hit by a big one too. It had to be like 45 or something, man, because it took a big, it went in and out, but I still got some fragments in my leg.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe yourself as a kid? Were you really into music early, sports, or school?
I did all of that, man. My block, we would do everything, man. We were like real crazy with it. Like,
I was into skateboarding, right?
I was into skateboarding. It was a lot of skateboarders. A lot of the cats were skating. Me, Ninth Prince, our whole crew. Shaheem was trying to skateboard. We all trying to skateboard. We were posers. We weren't the real deal. They call them posers and shit. So, but my uncle, his friend used to build ramps for us. I mean, it was a little pro to us though, because I was jumping like 8 kids with a skateboard over a ramp, like a ramp that's about 2-3 foot high. We would all my friends would line up under it, like laying down and jump them over a ramp. We started like 3, 4. I built myself to jumping like 8 cats on a ramp. So we were all right.
But at that time, though, was it viewed as like a white thing to do skateboarding?
I think so. I think so. Yeah, I mean, we was just into it. I don't know, because my hood is predominantly black, and with a splash of Latinos and shit, like Spanish. So it's not really. They had one white family in my hood, and it's my dude Patrick that I went to school with. He was crazy, but he was like a herb, and he had a hard head. So we used to be like, Patrick, break this, and he would like break stuff with his head. He was just trying to fit in so nobody bothered him. You know what I mean?
Right.
But his uncle was we called him Archie Bunker because he was prejudiced.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in the hood, living in the project, Stapleton Project. Everybody knows Archie. Everybody that know who I'm talking about. They know you're gonna know from Stapleton back in the days. You know who Archie Bunker is. They be like, Archie Bunker. He hated it. He's like, you little nigga bums. Your mama's a grease whore. He be saying this in the hood. All blacks.
Damn.
White man, old white. Yeah. All black hood would say shit like that to the kids, chase us and all that. Nobody messed with Archie. I don't know. It's like they just accepted him.
That's crazy.
Nobody beat him up. None of the older guys, him saying, your little niggas and none of that shit. Nobody ever, you know what I'm saying? Did anything to Archie. It was crazy.
But then you got into music real early, right? Like what, 9 years old or something like that?
9 years old. Yeah, hip hop was coming too. You got the Marley Marl, Magic Show and all that. We used to they used to stick the tissue in the tape deck and the little tape and then record it when it come on, play it back. We used to have the little boom box, got into that, EPMD, Big Daddy Kane, Slick Rick.
So you started writing at 8 or 9?
Started writing at that age. And we even had a whole album. We did a whole album with RZA beats before RZA was RZA. Well, I can't say before he was RZA. Well, before he was RZA, I could say that because he was Prince Rakeem at the time. He was Prince Rakeem. He actually came out with vinyl on Tommy Boy under that moniker. You know what I mean? I heard the Sexcapades and all of that. Oh, We Love You, Rakeem, before it was on vinyl. While he, when it was a cassette and it was a demo, I heard all of that. You know what I mean?
Because you grew up right next to Ninth, right?
I grew up. I was Ninth. Ninth was my best friend. You know what I mean? That's how all this, formulated. Like as far as going and getting the deal and all that. You know what I mean? But we were doing this, trying to emulate his brother and his older cousins, which is ODB and Jizza. You know what I mean?
Right. So you're growing up in Staten Island. What was it like when you're growing up? Like, take us through as a kid. You're walking the streets. What are you seeing?
Just, cats hustling. I mean, I seen somebody get shot going to school in Stapleton, just walking through the projects, because the school, you have 2 schools pretty much a block away from each other. You have PS14 and then you have IS49. So you have the elementary and then you got the IS, the intermediate school.
And how old are you when you saw that?
I had to be like 10 years old. It was actually one of my friend's uncles and shit. My brother, one of my guys, Dutch and my dude Spree, I seen their brother Gerald was his government name. And I seen their uncle get shot, under the building. It was crazy because I seen, I don't want to go into details, but it was some of the illest, the illest thing I ever seen. It was like pop. He ran, tried to run under the building, but your little, You know what I mean? Your little
Did he
your
survive?
adrenaline's running. Yeah, he survived. He ran. I don't know if he's alive now. This is 30 years ago. But
Right.
he ran. He tried to run, and back then, they kind of changed Stapleton where you could go. You used to be able to go under the building. If you look at the first Wu-Tang video, and stuff like that, they under the building. Even I think maybe they didn't even change it. I'm not sure if they changed it when Charlie Baltimore Ghostface video, but you used to be able to walk under the building through. They had like a little,
little tunnel. Yeah.
Now they closed that out and made everything transparent and put glass on there, where the elevator is. So, because the cops used to they didn't know where you went. You run up in the building, you come out and you sneak right into, another apartment. They don't know where you are. So now they had it where they could, check everything out, But he tried to run and he smacked into the building, like, you know what I mean? Because he was, he was just,
damn,
he was hysterical. So I seen that. I seen what happened. The dude that did it, it was crazy. I never seen nothing like that in my life. So he did it. He went upstairs, changed his outfit, came downstairs. 5 minutes later, cops are out there asking people questions. He's out there with them with different clothes on, and to certain homies doing this. Yeah, I got him. Bragged about it. It was crazy. So I seen stuff like that, at a young age.
So at 9, 10, you see that. How did you process that, though? Did you have a conversation with an adult to talk about it, or you were just you just buried it inside?
I just buried it inside. I couldn't even tell you. I don't know if I told anybody, I seen someone get shot today. I don't know. It was kind of like, like I said, Stapleton was like, you've seen stuff all the time, fist fights, craziness, girls fighting, titties popping out. I've seen a lot, I just, even at that age, I would go to one of my friend's house and see his father shooting up. They would look, they were heroin addicts, and we'd be going over there to hang out. We walk into the room. The mom would be like, don't go in there. And you'll see 4 guys laid out on the couch with needles in their arm. I've seen a lot, bro. I've seen a lot.
Are you a parent yourself?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay. Can you imagine your child seeing that at 9, 10 years old?
Yeah, I couldn't. I would definitely not. Make sure that they don't go over there, to see that, or just be around that.
But that makes you trip out sometimes what you've been through at such an early age, right? When you compare it in comparison to your children.
Yeah, for sure, man. See, as a parent, you just want to protect them from all of that stuff that you're seeing. It makes you a little bit more conscious of it, you know what I mean? Or I guess, get a little paranoid to a degree as a parent, because you're like, I know it exists. Even though, so you might have a partner or your wife or whatever that came from a sheltered background,
lifestyle, right.
Yeah. And then when they think you're being a little too extra. Oh, no, I don't want them over there, but it's like, they don't know. They never lived with,
mm-hmm.
that life. So, yeah, it'd be stuff like that.
Do you remember the moment that you fell in love with hip hop?
Man, that's a good one. I fell in love with hip hop. I don't know if it was Kane that brought me in, or Slick Rick. But Slick Rick is one of my favorites of all time, man. You know what I mean? Mona Lisa, all of that. That was just crazy. It was around that era, man. All I could say, I don't know who I got to give the credit to. I'll give it to all of them, man, because all the music was playing back at, Molly Ball show and all that. They would play everybody, So I just say that branch of MCs, you know what I mean? Rakim, Slick Rick, Big Daddy Kane, all the EPMD, all of them cats got a piece. Even the females, man, Salt and Pepper and all of that, you got to give it to them. Latifah, big fan of MC Light. She's one of the dopest to me. Love, Georgie Porgy, all of that. I tell you what really made me fall in love, Self-Destruction. When I seen everybody get together, a bunch of MCs, even female MCs, and do a track that was powerful like that and positive for the people, Self-Destruction. I think that was I was like, wow, this is really dope. The Symphony was dope too. There's so many moments, man, that made me fall deeper in love, but I can't really pinpoint, which one, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But what was it about hip hop that spoke to you so much? Was it you felt like they were describing the things that you were seeing on an everyday basis, or?
Pretty much. Yeah. That was kind of like the environment, what I was, accustomed to seeing, and the culture, just the hip hop culture. I was living in the hood, and, the dress, from the You know what I mean? From the gear that you rocked. You know how,
Right.
bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair, like
The
the girls
culture itself, right?
the
Because it's
culture
more than just
itself.
the
Yeah.
music. It's the fashion, everything, the lifestyle overall.
Yeah, that's what it is. To me, it's like it's a whole lifestyle, man. That's why, they call it the hip hop culture for a reason, man, because it incorporates everything. I mean, you're seeing the graffiti on the walls, you know what I mean? You're seeing, loud music, the block parties, you know what I mean, at the big park, you
Park
know what I mean?
jams.
Park, yeah, big park, you know what I mean? And, they were playing, DJs out there, you feel me? I mean, it's a lot of history, man.
Before rapping, did you try like other elements like doing graffiti or breakdancing?
Nah, I used to have a little marking, write something here and there, but that wasn't my lane. I was into the music, bro. My mom, my mom used to play, my mom didn't play a lot of Spanish music, you know what I mean, around the house. She was into like oldies, like she was a Motown head, like she like doo-wops.
Right.
And she like, you get what I'm saying? Like, Hey Love album. My mom I got the album from her. She passed away. I got her Hey Love album.
Sorry for your loss,
on
bro.
vinyl. Yeah, on vinyl. So yeah, I grew up with the soul in the house. You feel me? From my mom. She liked the oldies because my mom came. She grew up in a group home. She had her. She didn't have it easy neither. So it's just a lot to it, bro. But yeah, I grew up listening to oldies, man, and that's another thing that when you listen to the Wu-Tang music and the music I do, you hear those samples, you know what I mean?
That's what I was just about to say. Later
all
on, those become
incorporated.
the samples, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the soundtrack to my soul, you know what I mean?
What do you think about the debate in recent years when people talk about Puerto Ricans and their contribution to hip hop at the beginning of its creation? Fat Joe said it was 50-50. We've had people like Lord Jamar come out and dispute that. Tariq Nasheed came out and created a whole documentary called Microphone Check disputing it. What are your thoughts on that?
I think for sure Puerto Ricans co-created it, for sure, 100%. I mean, there's no
or like
I don't know about 50-50 because when if you it's about how you base it. Now, if you're talking about there was more black MCs in groups, even if you had Charlie Chase back in the days in the joint, to be predominantly black. So I don't know if you want to go by numbers, but they were there from the beginning. So it's it's still a co-creation. You know what I mean? If I write the first song ever of music in any genre, right? And there's just say a Puerto Rican producer on that song and 4 black singers. Does not make him a co-creator of it? Because he's going to get co-publishing on it if they got their publishing right. Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
I see what you're
He's part
saying,
of the first. Like, I don't that now. If you're talking about, of course, there's more black MCs and stuff than Puerto Rican MCs. I mean, so if you're going by that, no, it's not 50-50. But if you're talking about the inception and the beginning of it, whoever started and made those first records, I believe. I don't know if it's the first record, but way early on, before it became a global thing, Puerto Rican's been involved. So I'll leave it at that.
I interviewed MC Shan, and he said, like, when it comes to specific elements, Puerto Ricans dominated more, like the breakdancing, the graffiti and everything, but like as far as like the actual rapping, you saw more black MCs.
Yeah, I seen a couple of interviews. I mean, hey, listen, that's coming from Shan. That's he's another pioneer. You know what I mean? And that's it. If that's his standpoint, that's his standpoint. You know what I mean? I came later on in the game. To me, it wasn't a black or Puerto Rican thing. It's like I grew up in the hood, like, and I think I've seen a couple of interviews with them saying that too. They was like, I think who was it? Kaz. Kaz was talking about it with
Vlad.
No, not Vlad. Kaz, the MC, Kaz.
No, but he did the interview with Vlad. I believe.
With Vlad.
Yeah, what you're talking about.
I don't even know if it was with Vlad though, but it's a couple of them. But I think Charlie Chase was in the interview with him. Is that what you're talking about?
Probably not, but he's done. I'm pretty sure he's done multiple interviews.
And he was giving mad props.
Yeah.
He was giving mad props. He said they've been there from the beginning. It was Puerto Ricans in my class. You go to the 7th floor of my building. Jose was there. Like he was breaking it down to a degree. He says we all will live in that culture. That's what we can. Now they people get it confused when they build upon this because they're talking about Puerto Ricans from the island. We're talking about New Yorkers. Like we were here living this culture with. You know what I mean? Side by side. In these urban environments. You know what I mean? The hood. You understand what I'm saying? So,
yeah. You know what's interesting is that like now it seems like there's a divide between FBA and Puerto Ricans or Latinos and stuff, because from what I always understood, it's like when you're growing up in New York, it's like Puerto Ricans and blacks were almost viewed as one and the same. Like, it's like, like.
I mean, cops is running down on us side by side. You know what I mean? Little Juanito's him and Jerome's getting locked up together. They smoking a blunt outside. It's like, that's how it was. You know what I mean? That's how it is now.
And a lot of people viewed, like, because, there is the African slave trade that, Puerto Ricans do have the African blood, I mean, like, that's you can tell that some of them have a little bit more of European blood, but,
I mean, you know how you got to view that is just like, a white, interracial couple, they have a baby, they have two babies, they're married. One comes out a little darker, might look like the father, the other one comes a little lighter. And that's how you got to look at that. You know what I mean? As far as the blood, how you get the light skin dark. But, Ponce de Leon brought those ships over, man. The Caribbean got hit first, you know what I mean?
But you've seen it in recent years where people are more divided about that topic, though, right? Like, that people are talking about it like.
But, then you got to go back, people vary with it, man. Some people say, what happened to that thing? They said, if you got one drop of black blood in you, you're black, right? But then you can have a whole 30% in you and it's disputable now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't get caught in that, man. You can't take away from, you can do a lot of things, but you can't erase history. Some people will try, you know what I mean? And they do that Mandela, that Mandela effect thing or whatever, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
But, you can't erase the history, man. It is what it is. And the truth is that Puerto Ricans are, Spaniard, Taino Indian, indigenous Indian, Taino, Arawak, whatever tribe you got going on in you, and African. And that's just what it is. It's just what it is. And that's a lot of Caribbean islands, you know what I mean? That goes for, DR, Cuba, you know what I mean? All of that,
Would you say that you grew up in a religious household?
I would say to a degree, they were Catholic in my household. My mom, I got baptized when I was younger.
But eventually you became 5%, right?
Yeah, I started because I grew into my own, and again, I got lessons when I was like 15 years old. You know what I mean? And my boys would do, like I said, that's why I said I was semi-raised by the streets, because you know what I mean. My boys, my boys' other brother, his older brothers, and influenced us. We want to be like the older bros. I didn't have no older brothers. You feel me?
Right.
So that was like, we were kind of like emulating what they were doing, and you know what I mean.
What was it about the lessons that you were receiving from that really called to you?
I mean, it was just enlightenment and trying to better yourself. Everything was positive, about the oppressed. You know what I mean? Whether with the original people, you know what I mean. The black, the yellow seed, you know what I mean? The black, yellow, brown seed or whatever. It was really for us, the Latinos were incorporated in it. So I gravitated to it because I wasn't excluded. I was included.
Right. So it wasn't division. It wasn't
division.
Yeah.
Exactly. It made me feel like, oh, okay, there's a place for me in here, like I'm part of this too. We, the original, the Indians, the 2 million Indians, I'm part of that, one of those tribes.
Right.
The population. So, that's how I kind of like, and then and then when you were that age, you're very impressionable too. So your friends are doing it, you're doing it. I might have got into it at that point, just looking for knowledge. At that age, you're just seeking answers. You feel me? So,
and did that strengthen when you went to the island?
I didn't even try to, mention it. I was just on the phone. How that happened, like I told you, I was on the phone. And I was talking to my girl at the time, my baby mama, and I was like, "Yo, make sure you tell my old Earth to give me, to that I'm going to be calling her at this time. You know how you get only a couple of minutes, you know what I mean?"
Yeah.
So she would give him the thing, so she's there and waiting for it, and I'm not missing the call. And one of the guards heard me say my old Earth, and that's if that's Nation of God shit, like you know what I mean. So he was like, yo, let me build with you. You God. So yeah, why you ain't say so, God? Like, we a bunch of us over here, bro. That's how it was. I didn't go in there using that. And some brothers used to get locked up. They say you get locked up. Who said it in the rhyme? Was it Nas? You either or maybe Ghost said it. You get locked up. Now you blood a Muslim or something. They turn. People turn it just to fit in or get some kind of security. But I was already. Remember, I just told you, if you look at the timeline of what we're talking to, I said I got lessons at what? 15 years old. I got locked up at 17 years old, remember? So I was already 2 years in. This was nothing I was going to do. This is what I was living with my bros.
But I meant like when you were in there, did you spend your time studying more and
Yeah,
like
we would
really
study.
like searching for knowledge
For
and
sure.
everything?
Oh, for sure. You would study, and then I was locked up with one of my brothers. Shout out my brother Reality. If he's from the island, I went to school. He was lived in my neighborhood down the block.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in there. I did my bid with him. A couple of my brothers from Stapleton was in there. I woke up with my bro C Rules was. I woke up in the morning. They just brought him in. He's over here in the bed behind me. You know what I mean? And we weren't doing good at the time. Like we had a little beef in the streets, but. He came and made amends with me. He said, yo, you want me to make, he hooked me up and made me some Crispies, they call them. And you wrap your outfit, your beiges around the radiator. So we had no iron in jail, obviously. So you were to get the creases. So you're looking sharp in jail. So you would, do them a certain way, wrap them around, wet them and put them around the radiator. He made me that as like a peace offering because we had a little beef in the streets and and then we just built and was like, yo, we from Staten Island, we from Stapleton. We like the minority in here. We're not the majority. So we just, all that went out the window. We from Staten Island. So we rocked together. You know what I mean? And then, we was cool ever since. You know what I mean? But it was a little minor beef. You know what I mean?
At what age did you decide I want to pursue hip hop seriously? Like this is what I want to do with my life?
I guess, shit. So when I like to say, man, I mean, I wanted to do it my whole life. We were doing talent shows, me and Ninth at Park Villa, like back when we was like 10 years old, bro. You know what I mean? Doing talent shows. Like Park Villa is where when Wu-Tang tells the story about Capadonna, beating everybody. It might have been in the Wu. I don't know if they put that particular one in the saga, the Wu-Tang saga joint, but they tell the story how Kappa beat everybody in the battle. Kappa from the clan. And so we performed at that joint, me and Ninth for talent shows, trying to get put on, trying to get record deals. I went to different little labels at the time when we were young, and it's been a journey. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, man. It's just like my life calling, I guess you could say. I got another part of the story that's interesting. So the real Roxanne, right? She moved from, I guess, Brooklyn to Stapleton. She lived like on the same block as RZA's grandmother, like around the corner from me. RZA lived across the street from me. His grandmother lived around the corner. There's a lot of history, bro, that I'm embedded in. So whatever, I met real Roxanne through her daughter, Tatiana, that, she was a little girl, cool, and we hang out. She would just be cool with us. And she invited me over. Oh, you rap? And I met her mother. And this is when I was young, man. I had to be 10 years old at the time, man. 11, maybe 12. Let's just say 12. And I spit for her, and she was going to try to get me a deal with Chubb Rock or whatever. I don't know. Nothing ever panned out because she was signed, with Chubb Rock and all of them at the time. She mentioned Chubb Rock. I rap for her, whatever. She was like, oh, you cool. And then years later, after doing my thing, me and her connected again. Like, that's my people, shout out Roxanne and shit. But she was like, oh, wow, I can't believe you actually, okay. So I met her again through one of my homies that was doing some acting. He was in the Bobby Digital, he's from Staten Island. He said, yo, my girl is Bozzy Blah. He was, dating her at the time. And then boom, you know what I mean? I met her again and she was like, oh, wow, you actually really did this thing. Like, you feel me? Another one that was probably blown away that you meet a shorty when he's young trying to audition for you to get a deal with your people, and it never materialized. I was young at the time. I wasn't ready to go pro. You know what I mean? I was, unless they took me and wrote rhymes for me at the time and did some artist development on some crisscross type of, you know what I mean? But I wasn't ready for the action. I wasn't ready for the smoke then. You know what I mean? I had some life living to do. I had some stuff to learn. But long story short, she was like, oh, wow. It blew her mind. She was like, oh, wow, you really did your thing. That's crazy.
How did you come up with the name PR Terrorist and Don Pachino? Because eventually you came up with the album Gemini Mind, right? Don Pachino versus PR Terrorist.
Yeah. So with that, PR Terrorist was something at that point we were doing our little AKAs in the Army. So you have Shogun the Assassin, Ninth Prince, AK Madman, and Islord, the Thief of Baghdad. We had it for the album cover. So I kind of think around that thing was like PR Terrorist. I was watching a documentary about Puerto Rican terrorists, you know what I mean? Yeah, and I was like, oh, that shit sound ill. You know, usually you think terrorists, you think in, you know, Middle East, you know what I mean? But they actually had some documentary talking about Puerto Rican terrorists, but they were like delegating for the island of all the wrongdoings and people, you know, trying to come over there. You know, it was a different switch on it, but they called them you know, and I was like, I'm gonna run with that and put that for my, you know, Puerto Rican terrorists, PR terrorists. So that's how that came. And now Dom Pachino, that's a spinoff of my government name. So my government name got the Dom in it, you know? And Pachino, I'm you know, some gangster, you know, Al Pacino shit. I threw that in there when I was looking for names at the time. It's funny because RZA was, you know, when we were trying to figure out the name, because we was already got some of the album done and we were about to really get it, you know, get this thing going and put out. We got to know what the names are. So everybody's kind of like, and I was kind of stuck on mine, you know, and it was like Dom, you know, Dom. And then RZA made a joke. I don't know if it was a joke, but he's like, yo, how about Dom Flamingo? So ain't no Dom, like they punch out or some shit. Like, ain't no Dom Flamingo. And then I made it Dom, you know, Dom Pachino, you know, obviously, but it was crazy. That was a RZA suggestion, Dom Flamingo. I don't know if he was just joking around or whatever, but.
So from the beginning was like RZA seeing you guys as a group that was going to sign to Wu-Tang?
Nah, man, nah. So, you know, Ninth's RZA's brother, right? So that's his little brother. His little brother was trying to rap and be like him and his partner, which is me. We like I said, we got a little demo tape, a little white purple with some tissue stuff somewhere. I wish I could come across it, man. I've been looking for, you know, digging through boxes. I don't think I found it. But it's got RZA beats on there. And me and Ninth, we were Capital D. I had a name. We had rap names before Killarmy. It was Capital D and Cool T. You know what I mean? And we had an album together, me and Ninth. Now, this is before, you got to understand, Ninth didn't know the rest of the Army members. You know, I was the first one. He was from Staten Island, you know? We grew up, and then he moved to Ohio and met the other members. So it was really just me and him started rapping at first. Then he moved over there, went to high school, and met some new friends that want to rap too. They probably didn't really want to be rappers, but Ninth got them into it because Ninth been around, you know? His brother and their cousin, they trying to rap. So then they got into it. He had a new crew, but when he left to Ohio, he said, yo, I'm going to get my crew together and I'm going to come back and get you, Dom. That's what he told me when he was leaving for the summer or whatever. You know what I mean? It was like, and then, you know, it kind of worked out that way. You know what I mean? So he came back. He said, I got some new crew and, you know, we're going to get it together. I got a couple of dudes from over here. I got the producer. And then we kind of like, you know, when I was on a run, I got to meet Fourth and a couple of the guys, you feel me? And that's how we kind of formed. You know, it was never a group or RZA saying he's going to do that. It's whoever made it at the end, you know, whatever the homies that actually went down and went in the studio and worked and pushed down some bars. We was like, all right, this is the Army. And whatever Ninth kind of was like, yo, this is my crew. And, you know, Ninth kind of had a little position to do that too. That's his brother. You know what I mean?
So was the idea of the group kind of formed when you fled over there to Ohio, right? Because you were running away from the charge?
Yeah. Well, you said the group kind of what? Formed?
Formed, yeah.
Nah, we was already trying to do it before I got locked up. We was already, you know, trying to like get it together or whatever. But it really turned official then because that's when you got to understand everything happened at the right time because then RZA actually just got the production deal from Priority to actually to sign artists too. Like you got to understand, it wasn't just, he got the budget and it was like, yo, Wu-Tang's already blowing up. They want more. They want Wu-Tang everything. You know how the business works. If I drop right now some new artist and he's hot, or like the way Wayne dropped Drake and then Drake drops whoever, you know what I mean?
They want more people off the
of that
tree.
Sound, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. This is how it is, man. This is the beginning of time, the beginning of history of the music business, bro. This is no matter what kind
Kinetic
of music you
Nine,
do.
Shogun Assassin, Fourth Disciple, right? All from Ohio, right? And then, how do you think that Ohio aspect influenced the sound and direction of Killarmy?
I think it added on as far as, you know, see, Fourth got his own sound, even though a lot of people say he sounds like Wu, because, you know, RZA was his mentor to a degree, you know what I mean? But he has other influences also over there, you know what I mean? In Ohio, the Ohio vibe. You know, his father, I believe, plays an instrument, and he used to listen to him play live or whatever, I believe. Fourth, I'm saying. And he, you know, he kind of has his own sound also. So I think that's, you know, whenever you're dealing with production, there's a major part of the, you know, the sound. So I think the Ohio, and yeah, I think that the brothers all had their own flows, and you know, it's just everything, every element of it is what made Killarmy. You feel what I'm saying?
And then your guys' manager, General Wise, he was killed, right, in 97?
Yeah. See, that was beef stemming back with all that other stuff when I got shot, all that kind of crew still. And
Yeah.
you hear me? Those guys. Yeah. So, it was a little, little thing going on. But yeah, the brother, they shot, I forgot the number, but they shot my brother and killed him, shot him in the back. And they shot at him with, I think, 12 different guns, machine guns incorporated. It was like something I forgot. I just recently been told again, reminded of how many shots, but they found casings to 12 different guns and about like, I don't know, it was a crazy 80 different shell casings, and they shot him one time.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, General Wise, man. Love that brother, man. Miss you, bro.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace.
The real soldier. He brought the discipline to the Army, man. That was like the big bro. He was the, older than us. You know what I mean? Straight militant. You know what I mean? Moved diligent.
He was like the glue for you guys.
That was that. He was just the enforcer. He was the enforcer.
How did you guys end up finding out that he was killed?
We found out immediately. We got the word because I believe we were in town at the time. We were just on a whole different part, not even in town. We were in a different city and out there at the time. You know what I mean? And it was a phone call that came through from people down in town because we were out. We were working and doing some, doing some business, and I was doing some music, and it was just. Yeah, man. I don't even like to relive that.
Did you guys know like immediately that what it was related to?
We just knew that these dudes on the other side didn't, it was beef. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it was related to anything particular or anything, you know what I mean? It was just, that's what it was. These dudes had, it was a lot going on. And it's stuff that I don't probably know going on because you got to understand, I'm not from there. Right. I lived there for a while. It's like, it would be, I lived out there for a couple of months on the run. Like, I know where everything's at, I know this, that, I know folks out there.
But not like deep diving into the politics and everything.
Nah, they lived there. Yeah. Wise lived there. Like, even while we out and we running around and on tour or whatever we doing, he's there. You know what I mean? So he's in the trenches. So, and a couple of my other brothers too, So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. There's other stuff that probably was going on that I don't know all the ins and outs. I just know that stuff that I encountered. You know what I mean?
So you guys put out Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars in 97, right? And it is your most successful album. Then you follow up with Dirty Weaponry in 98. And both those albums were put out through Wu-Tang and Priority. But then you guys dropped Fear, Love, and War in 2001 on Loud. Why the switch in the record labels?
Priority was closing at the time. So, Priority had Snoop Dogg, Master P, and, the Wu-Tang record stuff that we did. They kind of went out, man. I think, who was over there at the time? Brian, maybe? But they, I don't know. It's label stuff, they closed up, they closed shop, they won their way out, Priority wasn't existing no more. So we did well, for a group that came out that didn't have major promotion and all of that. We did pretty well. Like we did so well that with Priority, after we did so well with our first, the first album cracked the top 10 billboards, rap and R&B, you know what I mean? Charts or whatever. So that's big for no commercial. You never seen no major MTV videos of us. We had a little BT here and there. We did a couple of things, but you never seen the major promotion with us. You know what I mean? So we really sold off for talent and good music. You know what I mean? People really supported. So we did so well on the first album that once you sell a certain amount of records, you become a household name. So then they came back and said, you guys are a household name now. Priority wants another album. That's how Dirty Weaponry came to fruition. And then after that all shut down, RZA was working a new situation out over with Loud, another production deal or whatever, to find a new home because Priority didn't exist no more for the Wu-Tang records. And then we were one of the first that was up for, grabs because, again, the sales history, you feel me?
Right.
And stuff like that. So that's how that happened.
But then Fear, Love, and War, it didn't do as well commercially, but from the critic standpoint, it got critical acclaim, right?
See, because they dropped the ball on the marketing. It was one of those things I feel like I said, I gave him my first live. I just said it on one of my new album. I got a line talking about parent company, Sony. Yes, I felt like I gave them a dope album. I feel like them niggas owe me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I said, I'm not an actor, I'm a rapper, but I'm a deserve a Tony for slapping these acting rappers for trying to act like they know me. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah, yo, so yeah, it was critically acclaimed. The album's dope. Anyone can go listen to it. We're not lying about it. They just dropped the ball in the marketing and promotion, man. And Loud folded right after. So check it out. We go from Priority folding to Loud folded shortly after that. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
It's crazy, bro. Like, so yeah, so we had a little it was rough, bro. It was rough. And then the album dropped. Let's get to it. Then the album drops on 9/11, bro.
Yeah, so nobody's focused on that at that time. Yeah,
9/11, bro. And then it's like, it's like, you know, people think we're conspiracy theorists or whatever.
Yeah, the stuff that you guys are rapping about is real serious stuff.
Like, they got podcasters talking about breaking down all the stuff Killarmy said, and it's actually coming like we you know, like we predicted. Predictions, prophets, lyrical prophets, bro. Check it out. I'm gonna give you a jewel. You remember the DC Sniper?
Yeah.
We were on Channel 1 News. I remember this years ago because I was going out with my dudes to a club and the DJ brought it up and said, Killarmy, Channel 1 News earlier, blah, blah. The Channel 1 News, I seen it. The dude was like, they were showing the dude's car and all that, the DC Sniper. They said that we inspired him. He was found with a Killarmy album, the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, the most successful one. No, this is it. You go research this. It's online. They showed it on Channel 1. I seen it with my own eyes, but, you know, it's crazy. And they says, yeah, he was inspired, the music he was listening to Killarmy. They saying he was inspired by the music or whatever. And then on that album, they have Shogun saying a line, snipers hitting Caucasians with semi-automatic shots heard around the globe. You know, that's one of his lines. So snipers hitting Caucasians with semi-automatic shots heard around the globe. So now they put and then, you know, DC Sniper thing, and they saying that he was listening. They found our album in his car, bro.
And that's not something you want to be affiliated with?
No. So after that, PR terrorists got dropped for a while.
That's not the right name to be using for a while.
Nah, bro. I was like, you know what? We're going to put this on pause. We're going to put this on pause due to 9/11, you know? And because, you know, we don't want to look like we trying to because that was all coincidental and all that.
People have a
vendetta
against rap music enough as it is, right? And then without a national situation like that happening.
Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So we had enough going on. And then they ain't even doing the right marketing on us. And the publicity we getting is horrible publicity. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, bro. You know what I mean?
So did that situation, because of how it was bad, you know what I mean, impact that you guys didn't do another album for 19 years at that point? I know you went solo and you just went crazy. You was dropping projects like nonstop, bro.
No, to get to your thing. Yeah. So, you know, after that, it was rough. You know, brothers didn't know. We tried to get back in there a couple of times on our own pocket and create something else. And we had no home at the time. And then, you know, when stuff like that, turmoil starts happening within the group, and you know your brothers and some dudes ain't getting no money, and you know we was all kind of like, you know, drying up over here, living on, you know, when you're on fire like that and you over here touring and doing your thing, you feel like it's never gonna be, right. You know, you feel like the sky's the limit, bro, and you're young still, and then all of a sudden there's no home. We got no home, and you know now brothers got to fence for themselves, and you got certain brothers like Ninth telling brothers, I'm gonna be all right, you know what I mean, like, you know, I'm good, you know, due to the brother, like, I'm gonna be all right, you know? And then, you know, a brother like me hearing that is like, oh, you're gonna be all right. Oh, you're gonna be all right. He said, y'all gotta see what y'all gotta do. You know, us having meetings, you know, amongst the brothers, the army. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna be all right. What does that mean we gonna be? You know?
So there was like some resentment there amongst the members a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know how everyone else is feeling. I'm speaking for myself. I mean, me, I took that as like, oh, right, you're gonna be. See, me, I come from a poor Puerto Rican family. You know, my, you know, we ain't got, you know, we ain't gonna be all right. So I went and just started. I said that's when I started going, you know, solo. Aside from that, while I was on tour prior on our last tours, you know, we're doing radio, and then the radio stations, fans are calling up. You know how you can call up the radio station. Yo, Don P, when you coming out with a solo? I was sought after, you know. Yeah. As when, you know, me and Sin, you know, they were asking about a lot, me and Killer Sin. Shout out my brother Killer Sin, you know what I mean? Free Killer Sin. They were asking about us because we were regarded as, you know, the top tier, you know what I mean? Lyricists and the thing, you know, you'll hear that a lot or whatever. I'm not making it up to sound to, to embellish. This is what a lot of,
Right.
the fans say. And it's not to put any, just throw any dirt on anybody else, you know what I mean? So I think all my brothers is dope, like I told you earlier. You know what I mean? They got their own, everyone brought something to the table, their own element.
Yeah, and it's really hard to keep 6 people together, right? In a group where like life happens, people change, people want to do different things, and like you grow up, and just there's so much things pulling people in different directions, and then when you factor
100%.
in the business and the money, and it's a lot to deal with, But
I mean, honestly, man, coming from a group as hard as it is, man, then you're splitting your pie 6, 7 ways, bro. I mean, it's crazy. If you ain't selling wild millions, splitting your pie 7 ways or even 3 ways with anybody could come a little troublesome after a while, unless you're doing.
Bro, even if you are selling millions, you've seen a lot of groups still get separated over stuff,
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, that's what I was just saying. Like, it doesn't matter. But you're talking about 6, 7 ways. We had like 6 MCs and a producer. And the producer gets paid 50% of the group. So he's already half of it. He's the music. So he's already, now you got 50. Now you're splitting 50% 6 ways. You do the math. Should start turning into tens of, like not even 10, less than 10. If you're
going through issues, a lot of times people will feel like, man, this ain't even worth the bullshit I'm putting up with.
Yeah, and then you start having a nitpick, like, hold on, who's writing more lyrics? You on one song, you on 3 songs on the album. I did 13. I wrote 13 rhymes, bro, and you got 3 songs, and we supposed to be this brotherly, let's chop the pie evenly. It start becoming a problem now, you know what I'm saying? And then that becomes about, well, we all the group, man, it's all of us. Yeah, but bro, I'm putting in more work, man. I just built the bathroom, the kitchen, and I'm working on the living room, and you just put the little, 2 closets in the house, like construction. Think of it on another level. Like, I just built most of this house by myself. You built a room or 2, but it's like, I'm supposed to split this pie with you?
Yeah. Because like in 2010, though, you guys were working on a new album, right? At that time?
We've been in and out, man. I drove down in my own car back to Ohio. We was going to bring it back from the element of where we created, the first song or whatever. And, I drove out there on my own tank, my own accord, man, my own pocket and shit, me and Knife. And, we got a couple of songs done. And then, it was a thing where I was like, yo, we built, before we even did this, it took a while to get there because a lot of, other bad business that was done in the past, you know what I mean? So we all agreed. We said, let's do it. It's time for it. And then we went down there, and then we had a meeting and said, yo, nobody leak no music. Whatever new we working on, nobody do no crazy stuff. Put it out, do this. And then Ninth ended up putting one of the singles out without checking with us and put it out all on his own. Nobody got a dollar from it. And that's when I was like, I'm done with this. It's a wrap. No more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We ain't doing it no more.
So then how did you guys come back to do Full Metal Jackets?
We did. They came back to do Full Metal Jacket. That's why I told you when we built earlier, Panda, do your research. I'm not on that album.
Right. So you didn't want to be on it.
They came back.
You didn't want to be on it at all.
No.
Because then I saw something also that you were saying that like when people were asking you, you was like, yo, don't tag me. I don't want to be involved.
Yeah. I don't want to be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't want to, don't put, I'm not on the album. Don't tag me. I have nothing to do with that. I don't want to keep seeing it. You know what I mean?
Was that hard for you though, to not be a part of it?
No, it was absolutely easy.
How's the relationship now between you guys?
I mean, I'm I don't know how we explain that. I mean, I don't got no ill will towards nobody. I mean, I built with my brother Beretta. We just came off tour. I seen Ninth. We just did a show together. Business calls, we'll do something. You know what I mean? Me and my brother Beretta, we got some stuff geared up to do together. I haven't spoke to Shogun. I'll go through it on an individual basis. I build with Fourth, my producer. We'll talk, kick it. That's my bro. We still build. Shogun's doing his own thing. I haven't spoke to him in a while. You know what I mean? Me and Beretta, like I said, is good. Ninth, I seen him last time. We did the show in Canada a couple of months back, and that's where it's at, man. Islord, I haven't spoke to in a while, but I spoke to him when I was in Canada. We spoke on the phone briefly. And that's that, bro.
Yeah, because I saw like on your solo albums, though, you guys have worked together, during those times, a little here and there, right? Like some production, different things, and yeah.
Yeah. We be, I'm not saying, we work together, yeah, doing that. I mean, now everything's a little, I'm in a different space now, but yeah, throughout the years, we would come together. I might do something for his album, and he'll return it, and we'll do stuff like that. Or some stuff was done before you get to hear it. Might have been sitting on the verse a year or so prior. You feel me? And you're thinking it's in real time, but it's really 2 years old. You feel me? Could be stuff like that. So I don't know. I can't really. But yeah, like I said, Beretta's going to be on my new album dropping on the 21st of January. So, like I told you, me and Beretta's building. Supernatural. Yeah.
I thought it was super dope, bro, when you created Napalm Recordings, right? Because, like, bro, you was putting out, like, endless projects, man. Like, some years you was putting out multiple projects.
Yeah, I think this year I put out 4 already, but then like I told you, I had a lot of family issues and stuff like that occur. So I've been out of the loop and shit, just kind of readjusting,
Yeah, but the past few years, like, it's been consistent, bro. Like, you've been putting out, like, multiple projects, and for somebody that's been in the game for so long, like you have, to see, like, your hunger not stop, but, like, almost, like, increase, that's inspiring.
Yeah, man, I love the music, man. It's my therapy. It's been therapeutic for me. Like even now, you know what I mean? Like going through what I'm going through and dealing with, different things, you know what I mean? It's therapeutic, so then sometimes, if, you're having a bad day, sometimes you can't even get inspired to do the music, but overall it's therapeutic for me. It got me through. I mean, music had my back, man, through the roughest times,
Right.
So,
something like that can keep you, alive, keep you going through the darkest times.
That's real. It's probably the realest thing we said all day, you know what I mean? So, nah, for sure. Music's my therapy, man. It's therapeutic, it's my medicine. And yeah, I've been putting out, I mean, I got like, I don't know, man, 50 albums out, iTunes, maybe,
because this is not Tidal. Even mixtapes. Like, we're not talking about you using other people's beats. We're talking about
it's all original. Yeah. All original stuff. Yeah. And all quality, man. Stories and, vibes on the album, man. Like good music, man. Go check it out. You'd be astonished, you know what I mean, by the kind of quality I'm pumping out right now. And this album I got, Supernatural, is going to be nothing short of that. Supernatural,
In the past, you've criticized this new era we are in of journalism and content creation, right? You called it culture vultures and clickbait.
Well, not everybody. Yeah, not everybody. That don't cloth everybody, but go ahead.
But it is something that does exist that is very common though. Like that we see that it's a lot of it. You know what I mean? A lot of it.
Yeah, it's definitely,
right. Yeah. Can you talk about that and if you feel it's gotten worse or better?
Oh, it's definitely worse now. Now you click on something and it says Diddy did this or something, and you click on it and it's not even talking to you. That part never. You're watching the whole video. They got you watching the whole video looking for this particular thing.
It never happened. Don't even see.
Yeah, they didn't even mention this. What he just said the title of this was, the subject.
I think that part is crazy because like people aren't even concerned about like the legal ramifications, right? Because like a lot of these videos are like defamation lawsuits waiting to happen, but I think that what they're betting on is kind of like, to pursue a legal action against a small creator like this is going to cost them more money than it's worth or something. But it's like, I feel like it's going to happen eventually to teach people a lesson. Well, I guess that did happen with the Cardi B and what's her name situation.
What's that?
Damn, she sued.
Yo, what's that guy? He does it all the time. He says Floyd Mayweather's uncles is Roger. Who's that guy?
Something Muscle.
Prophet Muscle.
No, but people don't call him out on it at all, bro. And I don't get it. Like,
no, but hold on. I'm gonna tell you. This is why I'm segueing into this. What about because he puts this disclaimer, the FBI disclaimer on there? Oh, I can do this. You don't see this disclaimer? Like? Prophet Muscle. Yeah, Prophet Muscle. But he puts the disclaimer, the FBI, like he's got permission or so. I don't know, man. I don't know.
But if you look at the comments, you don't see people calling him out about it at all. It's like they just accept it. But like,
I don't know. Yeah, it's wild. He does it a lot.
Look at some other people's pages. They get like super on these other creators, like, oh, technically they didn't say that and blah, blah. And they really go on, these other people. But I don't know why they never go at him. I'm like, damn.
Now, Prophet must have been rocking for a while. He's doing his thing, you know what I mean? But it's crazy. I mean, he literally put a subject and then you go in there, there's nothing about that. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, bro.
Right. But Tasha K, that's who I was talking about. Cardi B sued Tasha K not too long ago, right? Because of some defamation type of stuff that she was saying. But I feel like some of these creators that just be outright lying, bro. Like I feel like, man, you should be worried because eventually somebody's gonna do something and it's gonna fuck it up for everybody. You know?
Yeah. I don't know.
But how do you feel about the content creation and the journalism of today?
Like I said, I just think, some people are doing it right. I mean, I'm not, I don't watch everybody's stuff. Some people got, they onto something. They real journalists, they do their research. And then some people do that, clickbait drama. All they want to do is get people on there to talk shit about people. And that's how they I get it. People want to hear interesting drama and all that. But, come on, you're winning and you're doing something good when people are just interested. You have interesting conversations with people and artists and talk about their, their careers and their passions and stuff like that and get into that. That's, to me, is more, you know what I mean? Because my thing is this. I heard there's a couple of rappers and people always like, oh, you think about this MC or that MC. I think the dude's, the music, I'm like, oh, I like how you spit. You got a flow. And then I'll see him do an interview and it's just, you can't get in, like that's like, to me, it's like you can't feel him as a human. You know what I mean? Like as a person. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, they'll ask him a question. He's acting like a Don on his thing, and then they'll ask him what's his splits or something. I seen some shit like he's talking about Kingpin Boss, and then I don't want to say nobody's name, but he was on one of the major platforms, and they was like, "So what's your cut?" Since he's like, "Oh, I don't know. He deals with that or whatever." I was like, "Oh, you talking Major Boss? You don't know what's your percentage or split? Well, he could have just said, I don't want to answer the question, but he literally said, I don't even know. He dealt with that. I was like, oh, you don't know how much paper, your percentage. All right, got you. You bossed up for real. But then there's something like that, it made me like, or just the interview, the cadence, the way the dude carry himself. Overall, yeah, you just don't feel like you're not official like that. You know what I mean? You talk, your spit is real good. You know what I mean? You're spitting real good.
But don't you think that that's the problem? Because back in the days, there was more a mystique to artists, right? You didn't have like this inside look into their lives. But now it's like almost like when you get to see that, you like, damn, like I like this music, but I don't like him now. You know what I'm saying? I don't like this person. Because, social media, a lot of these artists are doing corny things that make them look real bad on social media. And you're just like, bro, like I can't even rock with you anymore because of that.
I know. It's like you're overexposed, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like,
you're just giving the people too much. And I think that as fans, it's like, it's weird because like we've reached a status now where people will be like, okay, yeah, they make good music, but on social media, they're boring. They're not entertaining. We want to be entertained at all costs. Like there's a lot of fans that are like that, which is weird. You know what I'm saying? And if they feel like if we are being entertained, we'll like the people's music even more. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a strange era that we are in now where it's like making good music isn't enough anymore. You have to be more than that. You have to be entertaining on social media too. You have to give us more. There's a fine line between music and content creation now where it's like, that's why like,
I mean, it's even forcing, but check it out. Like dudes that had the mystique is even forcing them to get with the program and like start exposing themselves because for the marketing purposes, like if they're coming out with a new product, like I'll give you an example. Kane is one of the illest, he's the king, you know what I mean? But Kane is now a media head. Like he's a content creator type, you know what I mean? But Kane he came from the back in the days where if you wanted to see Kane, you got to come to a live show or you just read the booklet or the CD or, the cassette tape or, the vinyl. And that's as far as you're getting with it. You're never going to see Kane. You're not going to know what he does on his day to day. When you see him, it's like, oh shit, Kane here, But now Kane is, is like, but you can't knock it. I mean, this thing is a lot of cats built, built careers from scratch off of this online.
Right. So, but there's a good and there's a bad to it though, right? Because before it was about talking about the music, but now it's like, oh, what stories do you have that happened 20 years ago that you can tell us to entertain? And then we can get some crazy headline and you know what I mean? Like, and I get it. Like everybody has to play the game a little bit, but it's like, it's almost like that's what it's more focused on now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's more about now. And everybody has to become a content creator now. Doing the music isn't enough. Now you got to have a podcast too. Now everybody has to participate in some kind of way. It's just a weird thing.
It's crazy. Yo, man, it is what it is. This is what we living in now. I mean, look, good thing my charges are all sealed and done because I'm over here telling an old story from 20 years ago too. You know what I'm saying?
No, but the story's about you though, bro. Like it's about you. And a lot of these like interviews we're seeing like oh, I heard or I was there, but I was watching from a third person like perspective. Like it was not like this is something that I was like really involved in and like
hearsay and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. You know what I hate? I hate when people say stuff that someone deceased said to them. You know what I mean? Before they died, and we supposed to believe it's golden if that conversation ever existed. Well, they told me that I was the best MC they ever heard. Oh, really? What Pun or Biggie told you that? Who told you? Oh, yeah. That was right before he went on stage. He told me I was the best he ever heard. Well, all right. But the person's deceased now, and they're talking about
basically.
No, it's unconfirmed. Yeah, man. Like I don't be digging that, man. I'd be like, nah, bro, we don't. Leave that out of there. That's crazy. It's crazy. People do it all the time. I've seen big boys tell the stories of Pac, and people that we know they roll with Pac, but did that really happen? Like we don't know, man.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's kind of like, okay, you've been around for a long time, right? Why didn't you tell that story a long time ago? Why is it now 20 years later that the story is barely coming out, right?
Exactly. That's a good point right there. What happened to it when he was alive, passed away last week. What happened? Why you didn't tell it all the way until he passed away?
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I've listened to interviews from you from like 20 years ago, right? And you said that hip hop used to be just about talent. And it's changed, So do you feel hip hop and the music industry itself has changed for the better or for the worse?
I mean, I can't. I don't want to be the hater guy. The OG talking about I can't dig the music. Hot 97 don't sound like New York. None of these stations do. Everything is like, it's just, man. They you can't even understand what dudes are saying. It's just so watered down. It's so Mickey Mouse. It's so simplified. It's dumbed down. And I think that's what the big companies want to do. They want to keep us dumb. They want to keep the kids, dumbed down and everything like that. So that's my take on that. But yeah, it definitely digressed to me. Back in the days, it was talent. You still gonna have your biters. You might have had Das Effects come out and then, Fushnikins or something wanted to sound like them. I don't want to, no disrespect to, but they had other people trying to,
But that was a thing before, like you were trying to be unique, right? Like if you even were like accused of biting somebody or something like that, that was a problem.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But you heard a lot of cats sign. You might have had a bunch of cats coming out signing because it was hot at the time, and Das Effects sent it off. But set it off. But you get what I'm saying? You still had it was original people. Kane was original. Slick Rick original. These dudes are all EPMD going back and forth. Dual original. You feel me? It was original. Wu-Tang original. You know what I mean?
But now it's like following a blueprint.
Yeah, now it's all blueprinted out and. Or not even just get that drill beat, and all that trappy beat, and let's Now they got A in every,
But that's what people said that was the downfall of New York hip hop, because New York hip hop used to set the tone for everybody, right? New York hip hop sounded like New York.
Yeah, we're not the trendsetters no more, man. We're not saying.
Yeah, it's like New York hip hop sounded like New York, and then now it's like Atlanta and the South rule hip hop because of that precedence that they've set, of the sound that a lot of people follow with those type of beats and everything. But yeah, man, I think that it's hopefully because we go in like circles with a lot of things in life or fashion, just things in general, right? That are trends and stuff like that. So hopefully, eventually, we get back to like New York really ruling that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where hip hop goes in the next 10 years. That's all I got to say. I don't know where it's going to end up, how it's going to go, but hopefully, it comes back to originality and, just if it does change, hopefully it changes for the better, some new wave. Digital fly shit. I don't know, but hopefully,
like the problem too is because of these companies are chasing whatever is on TikTok. These people that aren't real artists, that didn't start as artists, right? With an actual dream. It's just more of like, you caught a viral moment. Let me turn you into an artist in some way, and all of a sudden it's like crazy, bro. Like, because and also, there's no more artist development anymore. There's no like real artist development like back in the day.
I mean, look we didn't get no artist development. We came out just fine. I think it's just you got talent, man. That supersedes all of this. Like we didn't go in there and like practice, anything. We went and just learned the hard way. I mean, first tours, man, I didn't even have a strong enough voice to like, to penetrate a crowd, you know what I mean? Sonically. Like I was like, yo, we can't persuade this, we can't, you know? Like, yo, we went in there, but we did radio tour, Sons of Man, us, Black Eyed Peas, MOP, we were all on the same tour, Jungle Brothers, back in the days with the first Killarmy album, you know what I mean? And went out there and just did it, man. And did it. After that tour, it was like I felt a little bit more, that was the artist development on the job. Right. We were on the job doing this, you know what I mean? And after that, next tour, boom. And then at some point, I don't know, around the Dirty Weaponry album, I was just in my element, man. It was prime time P, you know what I mean? And just rocking, tearing down, started doing stadiums with the Clan, you know. They started doing, you know, crazy shit, you know what I mean? So, and then it's like, then you start hearing the crowd singing your Killarmy, we the last. You stop, prepare yourself now for the, you know, like, whoa, this is
that
crazy.
Helps if you forget a lyric, huh? Because then you just
yeah, that helps too. But just the energy, right. The energy alone makes you like, you know what I mean? Like, whoa, like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it's been a journey, man. But that's the artist development. So what I'm saying is, there's no artist development. Us, we was out there raw MCing, man, going out there with the camouflage, Tim's on camouflage, ripping shows, you know, doing radio. You know what I mean? Having ciphers after shows with MCs locally in that state or town, you know, might be backstage in Baltimore or DC, rapping with some cats in the parking lot, some fans, some MCs that thought they were the illest out there. And just in the trenches, man, that's the artist development. You know what I mean?
No, but what I'm saying, though, is like before there were labels that had like actual departments for artist development, but now it's like,
oh, now you're not going to get that. I'm going to tell you why. Because now you better have a wave before they ain't even signing nobody no more. You better have your whole wave down pat.
Before we invest any money. And you see a lot of record labels now are just giving distribution deals now. They're not even like...
Yeah, they've been doing that for the last shit. That's even getting old. That's been like 10 years now. They give you you might be with Universal, but it's Universal just distro. Like they ain't giving no bag, they'll put you through. You know, we'll send it, we'll put it on our spot. But now you're paying them to do what? You know, just to do something you could do on your own. Like people don't even, just because they want the Universal name. It sounds good. They want to front. We just signed the Universal.
They benefit you as like the connections, right? Like, you want to interview on this?
Oh, they could get that. Yeah, but see, some of them don't even come with that. That's a package. That's not just coming with the distribution. That could be something that an add-on. You know, we're gonna take this for this. We're gonna do this. You know, our percentage is gonna be 30% because we're gonna do, little marketing. You know, plug you in with some press. That's all comes with a price. You know, but yeah, that's good if it had that. But come on, man, it doesn't. You know.
So a few years ago, we had the situation with Drink Champs and Mickey Fax, and they disrespected the Wu-Tang fam, right? You were one of the most vocal about that. I know Wu members have been on Drink Champs since then, so it seems like things have been fixed. But has Killarmy been asked to be on Drink Champs, or would you do an interview on Drink Champs yourself?
Yeah, I would, and I spoke to my dude about it too. Hazardous Sounds, that was my guy. So he produced on one of my albums, and I was supposed to go and do a Drink Champs interview. He was linking that up prior to all this beef. Then all of that happened, and he reached out to me saying, "Yo, can you try to tell dudes to calm down? Can y'all be easy? Dudes are sorry." And I said, "Nah." I said, I told him how I felt. I said, "Nah, like tell them whatever, get in touch. Let's go on there and we'll air it out, right there, on the thing." So that was supposed to happen, get back or whatever. He said, what's his name wanted to build with me, EFN. And that never happened and whatever. And, then later on some other stuff, but there's a lot of inside stuff that happened, a little funny business, but I don't even want to bother getting into that. But yeah, it never happened. But yeah, I got the call or whatever from Haz, and he was I was like, my thing was this at the end. I don't want to relive the whole thing. I was just like, yo, that thing's pre-recorded, just like me and you pre-recorded now. If I say something crazy or you say something crazy,
we can cut it out.
We have the opportunity to go. We got the opportunity to go down and edit it out. I'm not going to let that slide like it's all good. That means you must have just been like, either A, don't give a fuck, or 2, ain't worried about it. And, we see how all that went. You know what I mean? So
right. And then your thing too, I saw was like, the apology needs to be as loud as the disrespect, pretty much, right? Like,
that's why I said, get me back on there. I was willing to go on there, and that never happened. Supposedly got connected, I'm sitting here just like, yo, it is what it is. I'm not going to sit there. I don't let nobody take too much more energy from me than, necessary.
Right.
I'll give that. I said my piece. I let knowledge be born. Everybody knows what it is. Take it for what it is. You know what I mean? but that would have been the right thing to do. You know, I'm not holding no ill will. You know, in the future, if dudes want to build and do it, you know, I know EFN supposedly sent, you know, his apology through or whatever, but you know, it's all good.
Yeah, and I know that your bro Shaheem, he went on there, and then things seemed to be good after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, that was that. That was whatever he did. I don't know.
Tell me something you have never said in an interview before, whether it be a story or an interesting fact about yourself.
Well, you heard the story earlier about that whole thing with the whole, getting locked up for that thing, the childhood thing. That was the first time. You got it.
Oh, for real? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. You got it. Yeah.
All right. Tell us about the new album, Supernatural, and what we can expect.
It was dope, man. Just high energy. I got a song talking about my loss. I delved into, the emotional side of things on that track called Darkest Days. Then I got some joint. I got a joint with Killer Priest on there. I got my brother Bugsy on there. Kinetic. I got Beretta 9 on there. Killarmy. Cooking something. I got a couple other secrets I'm cooking right now with my West Coast people and shit. A legendary group. Me and him's gonna do something right now. We working on that. West Coast, East Coast connection on there. So that's in the process right now. And yeah, man, just high energy. Just what I do, man. Militant hip hop, man. You know what I mean? That's what I do. I stick to my guns, but I got that soul in there and, that grime, and all of that. So yeah, that's cooking now. That's coming out January
21st, right?
21st. Yeah.
Would you say that this album is more personal than other ones that you've done?
No, I wouldn't say that. I said everything's just a different part of me, what I'm going through at the time, but it's personal. It's personal to the degree where I probably have one of my most personal tracks on there, the one Darkest Days. So it's but I won't. That's one song. That's one element of it. I won't say it's my most personal. I got a lot of joints that I also got, a love series, Soldiers Need Love Too.
Yeah.
That I drop, and those are just love stories.
Yo, the first album cover with the ass on it, right?
Oh man. Yeah, but yeah.
But speaking about the West Coast, like I've seen you work with Razcast a good amount of times too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Raz, that's my guy, man. I met Raz years ago. I'm at Fat Beats or something and stuff. I've seen him. I don't know if I met him in Cali or Fat Beats, but I think it was Fat Beats when he was in New York. Yeah, that's my guy though. I did joints with everything. A bunch of West Coast cats. Planet Asia, that's my
Planet
guy
Asia.
too.
I see you work with a lot.
Yeah, Planet Asia going to be on the new Terror Band album. That's another thing that's coming out January 17th. So I'm back on my old Grizzly now. You know what I mean? So I'm dropping 2 products in January, 2 albums. One with my brother Bugsy, the Terror Band joint, January 17th. That's my mom's birthday. We're gonna drop that one then, and that's Muhammad Ali's birthday also. So we dropping it on the 17th. The Terror Band joint is called Hostile Takeover with me and my brother Bugsy, and also we got my solo Supernatural on the 21st. A couple of days later, we're gonna drop both of them. Bang bang.
Who's handling the most production on Supernatural?
Mr. Terror's handling the bulk of the production on both of them. You know what I mean? But we got different trees. Bugsy actually produced on the Hostile Takeover album. He got like 3 joints on there. But yeah, Mr. Terror is pretty much the bulk of it.
And I think a few years back, you was saying that you worked on that you were working on a documentary, right?
Yeah, well, I had put 2 out already. Life of a Performer is part of a series. Life of a Performer 1 and 2, and we're working on 3. But 3 is going to be more like 1, if that makes sense. So we're going to put 1 and 2 on there, all that SD footage, and then put 4K, interviews and stuff, and put it together as one piece, and probably try to put that out to the masses on the streaming service.
That's dope, man.
So that's what we're working on now.
All right, Dom, I just want to thank you for your time, bro. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we go ahead and wrap it up?
Nah, man, just appreciate you. You know what I mean? Appreciate all the fans, man. Appreciate the reach out, Panda Chop. I've been watching you do your thing, man. Keep at it. I see your growth, brother. You're a positive guy, and I like what you're doing. And yeah, man, they can check me out on Instagram at Real Don Pachino, Facebook Real Don Pachino, and what's that other X? Real Don Pachino.
And on YouTube,
man, everything.
Napalm Dom.
Napalm Dom. Yeah, go check all the music videos out. I mean, I'm directing videos. You know what I mean? I do all the editing. I do all of that. We got the channel Napalm Dom. Thanks for that. I forgot about that. Yeah, go just check it out, man. Music. Put me in your search engine. Spotify, your title, Apple, I got thousands of albums on there, man. You know, I'm exaggerating a little, but you know what it is, Panda.
you got a lot of work.
It's a lot of music,
a lot of work.
And it's good music, all original music, like Panda was saying, man. It's all original, it's dope. You know what I mean? So check that out. Yeah, man, that's it, really, man. Appreciate you, man. Happy holidays and all that shit, bro.
You too, bro.
You know?